Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Wednesday, April 17, 2013. This is Texan TV News from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas, and I am Adarius Pegues. In today's headlines, photos of pieces of a pressure cooker and a torn backpack released in Boston. 2014 Boston Marathon to take place as scheduled. Letter to U.S. Senator found to contain ricin. NFL broadcaster Pat Summerall dies at 82. Tarleton and Fossil Rim Wildlife Center enter understanding to create education opportunities for students. Tarleton honors former Texas politician Ben Barnes with luncheon event. Cowboy Capital Roller Girls host upcoming benefit for Area Cross Timbers Business and Professional Women's Club. Glen Rose student receives Distinguished National Scholarship. Reservation system down in Dallas causes hundreds of canceled flights and delayed flights, as well as today's weather. Now for today's top national and international stories from the AP News Minute.
This is AP News Minute. Federal agents are zeroing in on how the Boston Marathon bombing was carried out, but no word on who did it and why. An intelligence bulletin released late Tuesday includes a picture of a mangled pressure cooker and a torn black bag. The head of the Boston Marathon says the race will go on in 2014, calling the race a deeply held tradition and an integral part of the history of the city. An envelope addressed to Mississippi Senator Roger Wicker has tested positive for ricin, adding to jitters over terrorism. The letter was discovered Tuesday at a mail processing plant just outside Washington. Pat Summerall, the NFL player turned broadcaster who teamed up with John Madden and called NFL games for more than 2 decades, is dead at the age of 82. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press, with AP News Minute.
In campus news, President DeTavio met with the executive director of Fossil Rim, Patrick Conde, today to sign a cooperative memorandum understanding between Tarleton State University and the Wildlife Center. According to a press release, the program is meant to create a learning atmosphere for students, faculty, and staff alike at each institution. The administrators hope to implement education activities and internship and research opportunities with the program. DeTavio has designated the contact person for the agreement to be the Dean of the College, Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. Also on campus news, former Texas House Speaker Ben Barnes came to the Tarleton State University campus yesterday to talk to students and faculty about his experience in Texas politics.
Talk a little bit more about issues. There are significant national issues, significant state issues. We went through some of the lists at the front end. What do you think is really, beyond the partisanship you talked about, what do you think is the most pressing national issue, and then which one do you think is the most pressing for the state of Texas?
Well, I think our budget deficit is the number one problem. We have to get this under control. But again, and this is not partisanship. But we just have completed fighting 2 10-year wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. And this is the first time since this country has been a country, even in the Revolutionary War, we passed a war tax to pay for the war. George Bush and Cheney cut taxes, and then we spent the terrible, god-awful money in Iraq and Afghanistan, it just doesn't go that way. We've been spending too much money, yes. We've got to do something about the cost of medical services in this country, yes. What President Obama's recommended on Social Security is moving the age up 1 year every 10 years. That's not a big problem. And someone that's been fortunate to make a living, I need some limits on what the government's got to pay for my health care. I don't need to go charge you $500,000 for me to die. I'm not getting ready to hurry. I'm not catching it. But I don't need we don't need a system that affords me that opportunity. That we can make some cuts in time. We've got to make some cuts in the military, and we're about to do that. We have such. I know we're worried about North Korea. We could obliterate North Korea in about 15 minutes if we wanted to. We have the military strength with which to do and fight our enemies from it. We need to spend the money for security. We need to spend the money on homeland security. We need to spend the money to make sure that doesn't happen what happened in Boston. That doesn't happen in this country more. But I'd say the deficit is the number one problem. Last Sunday, I guarantee you, the talk shows, we're talking about guns. Now, being from De Leon, I know about guns. I've had guns all my life. It is insane. 90% of the people, 87% of the Republicans are for gun registration, where you have to go register to buy a gun. You have to do that at a gun store, but they don't want it to happen. They don't want it to happen at a gun show. The National Rifle Association, where the president of the National Rifle Association is making $5 million a year, raising money from poor people in De Leon. We spend way too much time on stuff like that when we shouldn't be worried about the fact that in Texas right now, for the first time in the history of our state, Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Oklahoma are all spending more money per capita on education than the state of Texas is. That's where the problem is, and that's what we ought to be worried about, whether we're going to have to register to buy guns.
Originally from De Leon, Barnes attended one semester of college at Tarleton and then transferred to University of Texas at Austin. While he was still in college, he was elected to the Texas legislature at the age of 26. He became the youngest Speaker of the House in Texas history. He also served as Lieutenant Governor from 1969 through 1973. In regional news, the Cowboy Capital Roller Girls are preparing to host a benefit for the Cross Timbers Business and Professional Women's Club on May 4th, 2013 at the Lone Star Arena. You can get tickets on CCR's website at www.cowboycapitalrollergirls.com. Any one of the roller girls will also have tickets on them or at the door. Doors open at 6 p.m. Event starts at 7 p.m. CCR helps many local organizations and charities through volunteer work. The girls keep a long strip of Highway 377 clean through the Keep American Beautiful campaign, as well as help with American Cancer Society, Relay for Life, CASA, and many others. On February 27th of this year, the IRS granted a 501c3 nonprofit status to the Cowboy Capital Roller Girls Roller Derby League here in Stephenville. The CCR girls skate on a flat track instead of a more commonly known traditional bank track. Next, according to the Glen Rose Reporter, Glen Rose High School student Cody Bersker accepted a huge scholarship on Tuesday. The senior is one of the top 20 in the nation to receive the Do Something.org Foot Locker Scholarship by demonstrating leadership and excelling in the classroom. In sports and in the Glen Rose community, the scholarship presented to Bersker is worth $20,000. Students of this honor went through an application process that was reviewed by a panel of professional athletes. Bersker told the Glen Rose Reporter he's honored to receive the national scholarship, considering there were thousands of applicants. He said his dad always pushed him to be the best in the classrooms and that it was easy to excel with the support of his family. Now today's state news from the Associated Press. Yesterday, American Airlines canceled 907 flights and delayed at least 1,068 due to their computer reservation system going down at the nation's third largest carrier in Dallas. All planes had to ground across the United States, leaving many passengers on board and waiting to board. The computer system was not only used to book flights and regulate how much fuel each plane needs, but was used for many daily tasks as well. Stacy Franz, a spokeswoman for the airline, told the Associated Press that the system was fixed by 4:30 p.m. yesterday afternoon. However, although the system had been fixed, it was said that American Airlines still expected some delays and cancellations that day. And the weather, according to the Weather Channel, today's forecast calls for a high of 86 with a low of 55 and cloudy skies. Today's broadcast was produced by Ian Trobe, Alicia Nguyen, Laura Jokel, Kelly Rumsey, Kate Murphy, and Rachel Peoples. You can follow Texan News Service on Facebook and Twitter and check out our website at www.texannews.net. I am Darius Pegues. Tune in tomorrow for the latest news from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas.